I live my life like this, no tomorrow. Today we're going to do the morning roundup, interpret each item as a different overplayed classic rock song. Hit me with your best shot. You shook me all night long like a rock. Ooh, like a rock. Dream on, dream until your dream comes true. I wanna rock and roll all night. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Got everything rolling. I really want a burrito. I think we're gonna go to the cheap burrito place. We're going to package stuff when we get back. And then after that, we are putting the new extruder motor in the filament producer. It would also be nice to finish up the feet for Captain Chihuahua. Feet, of course, are a lot easier to do than the head. Probably a couple other surprises in store, but yeah, it's burrito time. You know that song that goes, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go? I just realized I've never heard any more of that song other than that line. But as a songwriter, how I think the rest of it should go is this. That's probably not how it actually goes, but if I was writing it, that would be the melody. That being said, it is burrito time. Bag secured. Back at the shop. Man, it's getting hot out there. Look at that beast. So good. Sharky eyes. Whoa, we just sold our first popsicle, baby! Big food is on the rise. Yup. I think almost every big food item that I've listed has sold. I'm gonna say at least 70% of them. I'd have to actually think about it, but yeah. That's awesome. First popsicle ever. All right, let's get Sharko shipped off. Time to package big coffee. Wow, this is really surreal, but this extruder motor is going out now also. It happened almost on the same day. That is so ironic. Both filament extruders going out within 24 hours of each other. I'm glad I at least have one spare motor. Well, no sense in delaying. Add to cart. Well, got that ordered. Man, that's so crazy. I can't believe both motors would go out basically at the same time. Really strange. I think the second new motor is gonna be here in maybe 5 days, which sucks. But if I run one of these all day long, pretty much, I can kind of almost make enough filament to keep up. I mean, I do have a stockpile. That's how much filament I've got. These pegs are full. Now, I was wanting the filament stockpile for when I move the entire extrusion system, of course. And this is so weird. This is just not a thing that would happen. Like, I'm tempted to think it had something to do with the pellets, but there's no way. Like, that's the 9th tub of pellets of an entire load that's all the same thing. Also, I would be tempted to think it's the pellets if we were still using the material that we filtered the impurities out of, but we've ran out of that like 5 days ago or something, so nothing in this would have to do with that. Now, if the impurities were like building up on the nozzles of the extruders such that it got clogged or something, again, that would have happened a long time ago. And the way it actually works, when you run normal plastic through, it has a way of like sort of purifying it or getting any impurities out of the system. So yeah, that is just pure irony. Both motors going out basically at the same time. But yeah, if we start early enough, we could probably get 5 or 6 spools from one. I think I'm at the point at which I'm using about 6 to 7, maybe 8 spools a day. If we can get the second motor in 4 or 5 days, we probably got enough to eke by. I always say, work a little harder than you feel like you have to. because there's always something that's going to happen. And this is a great example. What are the odds that both filament extruders would go bad within 24 hours of each other? I don't know what the answer would be to that, but that's why M3 is always a little more prepared than he needs to be. I forgot my set of Allen wrenches at the house. I needed these to put the desk together. So we just did a little trip for basically no reason. Actually, you know what? We're right next to Dunkin' Donuts. Let's get some dunk. Man, I really might not get that much packaging done today, which sucks. I mean, we're not like super behind or anything. Oh, but it's gonna take forever to swap out this motor, and then I've got a couple printers to do some maintenance on. All of that requires coffee. Man, there's nothing like a little midday dunk, a little bit of a line. I actually had somebody leave a comment saying that they were inspired to start a little 3D printing side gig because of me. And they said it's enough to cover their dunk. Tears just streaming down. Oh man, it is so hot out today. But the dunk is cold. Funky cold dunkina. Of course there's a Whataburger. I only do so many things. Ugh, what a great day to be indoors. Well, that's more than enough prelude, let me tell you. But we did get some dunk out of it. Whew, let's get into it. Okie doke. So normally what I used to do is take this whole thing and put it on the bench. But this is more intimately connected. I don't exactly know how to say it. It's harder to disconnect this. I would have to basically undo these things and retwist them and reconnect them. I don't think I have to mess with any of that. We're going to detach this from the base. There are some bolts under here. First, we're going to do this. We're just going to kind of lift this up, take the motor out, and then reverse the process. One thing we are going to have to do though, take all this plastic out, because this has to come off and it would spill all the plastic. This is an annoying process. First step, we're going to heat up the barrel. This will automatically start heating it. The reason we're doing this is this front part, which the barrel is attached to the motor right here. It has to be hot so that it will detach because there's plastic in there. It's gonna take a second, but we're gonna get started on these bolts. These have to be held with vice grips on the other side, and they have to be Allen wrenched from the front. I know I keep saying this, but it's so strange they went out around the same time. My brain is just not gonna stop thinking about this. Most of the time, I'm pretty much in total control of my thoughts, but a weird thing will happen, and then I just can't stop trying to figure out why that thing happened. And sometimes there are real coincidences. I believe this is a coincidence, but it's just like happening at the same time, 24 hours within each other, and there's no obvious like factor that's affecting them both. It's just one of those things that's like, it's just going to make me think. Anyway, we are going to snip off these zip ties here. They're in there pretty good. There we go. You can see this is the funnel that's actually normally included with a Filament extruder. This, of course, is quite modified, as you can see. But it's just funny that the funnel they include has so little capacity. This is like a few minutes of filament right here. Anyway, you got to get that off to grasp the nuts. There we go. I'm lost without the needle nose vice grips. Then we're just gonna, bit of an awkward angle here. Just gonna wrench these guys off. There we go. Very random, but somebody just bought 2 ice cream cones, a white and a pink, I believe. Crazy. What a time to not be able to produce filament. Took all these bolts out. Now we have to, this is a clutch that transmits the motion of the drive shaft to a screw which pushes out molten plastic, obviously out of the nozzle. So this is the grub screw that attaches them. There we go. Ugh. We're still waiting for the barrel to heat up so we can slide this out. One thing we can do is unscrew the connections here to the speed regulating mechanism. The thing to remember here is red, red, black, black. Just to illustrate it fully, this is the power supply, and this goes to the motor. This is the thing that regulates the voltage or whatever. There we go. There we go. Well, there's the old motor. You can see it's seen a thing or two. But most interestingly, here is the Woodruff key. See this slot here? There's a little piece called a Woodruff key that fits in there. I'm trying to show you this. I don't know if you can see this, but it's bent. It's actually bent. There you go. This is not supposed to be bent. This little piece of steel, we produced 9 months worth of filament, and all that force came onto this little piece. Normally, a bent Woodruff key would suck, by the way. Super dirty hands. But one of the many random things that I have in the utility shelf is this. An entire box of Woodruff keys. I bet you just about every 3D printer on YouTube does not have one of these. This is the kind of heart-exploding, riveting content that you'll find on M3 is 3D. Let's do a little side-by-side comparison. That is the old Woodruff key, and this is what it's supposed to look like. There's your problem. That's the old motor, and that's the new motor. Each new motor comes with a coupling like that, but I like to just take off the old one so that I have a bunch of couplings in case they start shipping these without the couplings or something. Man, there's just something about like seeing this motor. 9 months, you know, probably thousands of pounds worth of filament. Once the grub screws are loose enough, you can usually just sort of shove this thing off. Good way to do it is with pliers. There we go. We're about to reconnect the drive shaft with the new motor. We had to use vice grips to turn it around, and the reason is the Woodruff key sits in this ridge, and it connects to that notch right there. So yeah, this takes a really, really delicate touch. There we go, connected. The thing to do once you get it in place is to put a bolt here so that this thing doesn't shift this way or that way. We're gonna put the bolts in, tighten them, and maybe do a little test run. This should be connected. We'll test that out in a second. You gotta do this when it's heated up, of course. And then we're gonna be good to go. Here we go. All right, we're up to temperature. Here is the moment of truth. Oh, it's a beautiful sound. Yes, first blood. Well, that's another functional filament rig. All we gotta do is just kind of put the funnel back on. I guess you'd call this a hopper. Call me Dennis, 'cause I be hoppin'. Well, that kind of took forever, but very necessary. There is something about having a brand new motor that feels like, it's like that feeling when you have a pad of paper and it's totally blank. It's like, what are we gonna make with this? I think we'll go blue this time. 6. Oh, this is really not showing up that well. There we go. Bam, 6:30. Take a look at this. This Massachusetts coffee cup about done. And we are off to the races once again. I think what this episode has taught me is that I need to not only have one backup motor, I always need to have 2 of them. Sucks to shell out the money. They're like 200 something a piece. But, you know, being able to operate your filament rigs, it's priceless. All right, I just did a whole bunch of printer maintenance. Had a couple of these guys that ain't acting right. This was a pretty frustrating and annoying day. Had some customers doing some really annoying stuff. I'm just gonna call it a day. But we will answer questions, respond to comments, etc. I had a customer complain about a product not matching the product photos, and of course, it looked exactly like the product photos. Not only did they ding me with a 1 star, but they opened a case and I had to refund them, and it's BS. So I'm kind of done with the day. It's basically closing time anyway. I'll probably take a carload of stuff to the new place and we're just gonna call it a day. Yeah, we're about to read some comments. That and both of my filament extruders failing again within 24 hours of each other and doing a bunch of annoying, sometimes you just have to take a break. Join the Discord, link below. Toasty-O's. I would guess that the white duck is somebody's pet. It's probably a good thing you didn't take it. Maybe. It's pretty much as good a theory as any. Oh, I was gonna say, I set up the new movie theater seats in the new place, at least the first half that we took in the last episode, and they look great. So I was kind of expecting that. I was expecting setting it up to be kind of difficult, and it was a little bit of a pain, but it's looking pretty good. Spicy barbecue, again with the metaphors. 33 episodes until the 1-year anniversary of daily uploads. Like a Roomba with a vendetta and sordid past. M3 moves with precision and vengeance. That's an upvote from me. Took the words right out of my mouth. I knows pickin' says, great content. The next time I buy vintage movie theater seats, I will know how to assemble and disassemble them. I am nothing except a provider of value. Okay, this was really the comment of the day. Ethan Thompson says, super grateful for you inspiring me to start my own 3D printing side project. 6 weeks in, I've sold 50 products, which is 49 more than I expected to have sold by this point. Happy emoji. Sometimes you just gotta start and see where things go. Not enough to live on, but enough to cover the dunk. 10 out of 10 comment. You know, this show is for everybody. If you're just a hobbyist and find this stuff interesting, hey, absolutely. Many people in the Gratitude Gang are that. There's a little special place in my heart for people that start businesses, side hustles, etc., doing 3D printing, that have been inspired by the show, and I've gotten several messages, quite a few messages over, I was going to say over the years, but it's not even over the year. So that kind of thing is very cool. I love reading those comments and just anybody that gets value from this in some form. Well, that's probably about enough for today. Maybe one thing that's worth noting, one of the reasons that changing out the extrusion motor in the filament rig is so stressful is because there are tons of things in that machine that are either really hard to replace or maybe impossible to replace. Probably not impossible, but I wouldn't even know how to. So it's like you have to do everything very carefully. And basically my entire business is dependent on my ability to make filament. I mean, obviously I can buy it, but it throws off all the margins, and then it throws off all the pricing, and then it throws off all the sales. So yeah, it's a stressful thing to do. I can't believe both of them went out on the same day. Ugh. All right, what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful that I at least had one spare motor. But yeah, also today was a good day of sales. Really good day of sales. It's funny how like these days where bad things happen, often it'll be like there's something really great that happens. And it's like this test. You know, like the first popsicle sold today, and 2 ice cream cones, which is just very encouraging. I don't know. Yep. Well, the commitment to virtue doesn't mean anything if it's never tested. So I have a lot to be grateful for today, even though it was super annoying. The flesh is weak, isn't it? So those are my gratitude moments for today. Write down in the comments what you are grateful for. Could be anything, could be something small, could be something bad, because difficulty is opportunity. Write in the comments. I like to read it. Some really good comments today. Yep, we drop the episodes every day, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Stay around you. I can't say what I need. This blinding adolescence I'm seeing to standing in a moment. What has been is cast aside, frozen there as time rode. I know that you must have died. Everything I need, through emotions, and we're all going to die. So leave me something precious, another sunlight. Light will surround you. Open up your light, time to say Auf Wiedersehen.